In today's video, I'm gonna tell you how to configure OPC UA Server in ABB ROBOT. OPC UA function was initially published in 2020. So, first step, you have to make sure your hardware can be OPC function. So this is the overview of hardware topology. This is the ABB robot. You need a computer as ABB Gateway installed the software as OPC UA and other outside controller as client. Then the connection like this. Because ABB robot controller doesn't support OPC UA server directly, you need this gateway. You need a computer installed ABB IoT Gateway software. Okay, remember this is the overview of hardware topology. And for your robotware also has version demands requirement. As you can see, if your robot wait a second. As you can see, if your robotware is 5, this OPC UA IoT Gateway doesn't support. Your robotware for IRC5, the robotware version must at least 6.11, and you need function 6161 PC interface. If your robotware just minus not equal less equal 6.11, you must have this PC interface function. If robotware larger 6.11 and less than 6.12, then you need these two option function: PC interface 6161 and 15821 OPC UA server. Same like this. Okay, if your robotware more than 612, you have to this function. You follow these pictures requirement. This is for the ABB robot controllers demands criteria. This is the software option function. Still, if you don't have it, you have to buy it from ABB official or go back to my previous video how to install this function option function. Okay, this is Omincore with robot if where requirement. If robotware with Omincore less than 7.2, this function IoT Gateway OPC UA function doesn't support, must like this. Okay, this is for the controller's demands. And also you need a computer. The computer like this, the demands requirement: CPU, memory, disk. Okay, and the next step, you need to install the OPC UA server software. Where you can get it? You go to this software developer center ABB you click IoT Gateway. You just find, you click download. In this website has different version for IoT Gateway software package. You download it, okay, and go back. Once you download the software, you install the software in the OPC UA Server computer. Install that software here, okay, install it. Install that software. Remember, this is the hardware topology. You need a computer which can install the ABB IoT Gateway software. The next step, you have to configure the OPC UA server for ABB ROBOT. So once you install the software in that computer, you open the software. And you click aliases. You click it and choose the robot icon. Okay, and you can type the robot IP address, locate, scan, because basically if your robot is RIC5 or Omincore, depends on the situation, you connect to the robot controller, type the IP address. Basically we use X2 port to connect Robot Studio, and you can also use this. You just connect to it, okay. Basically we use X5 or X6 as a network function. This X2 is for Robot Studio connection. You can use these two ports to connect that computer, and you click icon, you type the IP and scan it. You must scan it like this picture. The robot where shows here. You connect it, and once you scan it, you choose to create OPC server. Should be like this picture, okay. Once you create and you created successfully the server, you have to need to type the server name and the password, okay. And the client the laptop has, I click it one more time. Once you type the IP, the name and the password, which is for connection, okay. The next step, you should open the OPC client to connect the server. If the client failed to connect to the server, you have to make sure, you have to check the client certificates whether already rejected. You have to click trust, okay. Make sure the client side is trustworthy, okay. And log this column, log, because right now I didn't connect to the robot. The log column shows this is the ABB robot as OPC UA server address. You need to type this in the OPC UA client side, okay. Remember, type this in the OPC UA client side, very important. So once you finish this is all the steps for the client, for the server setting, for the ABB robot server setting side. The next step, you have to open your OPC UA client side to connect, to add a OPC UA server and to connect to the server. Basically, you can use the UA expert client this software to connect to test. So the first you need to add a server. You need to add a server. In this video, we just use the UA expert client software to test to demonstrate OPC UA client. Probably in other projects you have different client software or site that focus that software. You have to add, then you choose you double click it, you type that address, this, okay, type this. Remember, once you type it, and the next step you have to type the password on UA expert. Type the password and the username, and once you successfully connected, it shows like this in the UA expert, okay? And finally you can add column variable and get the data, focus on what you need, okay? So this is all the steps for ABB Robot as OPC UA Server configuration. Still, if you are master of ABB Robot, ignore this video. If you are beginners, hopefully it's useful and helpful to you. See you next video.